Gemma from Concrete Gems Crochet, and I'm here today to give you a full-length tutorial on how to make the reversible rainbow crochet placemats. These are very cool placemats where you have a pattern on each side, so that's the reverse and that is the front. They are made using reversible overlay mosaic crochet, which is not as hard as it looks to do. You'll easily pick it up. I show you all the stitches and how to make it every single row as we go along. I used Starcraft Special DK for this for my placemats, but you can use cotton or any DK from your stash. It doesn't really matter. Just do a gauge swatch and match the tension. So for my main colour I use this one, which is called Toy, and for my yarn B, my secondary colours, I used just a big basket of yarn from my stash. So any skeins that you've got left over work fine, or you can pick a colour scheme. You can just do it in 2 colours if you like, whatever. What else? You'll also need a 4mm crochet hook, scissors and a tapestry needle, and I think that's everything. Let's get started. My main colour is going to be this Starcraft Special Double Knit in shade Toy, and I'm going to be using a 4mm crochet hook. So to meet the gauge, you'll probably want to be using DK as well and a 4mm hook, but do a swatch and see how you get on. Do the swatch using Mosaic crochet so that it is the same as the placemat. And we are going to start. So your yarn A is going to be a single colour, and then your yarn B will be all different colours from your stash to make it like a rainbow effect. And you can just mix and match however you like. Just pick up random oddments from your stash and use them, which is what I really love about this pattern, that you can just use up whatever you've got. So I'm going to start with a slip knot, and we'll start row 1 now. This is going to be a foundation single crochet row, so I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to insert my hook into the first chain, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. So that is creating the chain and the single crochet stitch at the same time. So then we're going to go into this loop here. So that's what it looks like. You're going into that loop at the bottom where the chain was. Yarn over and then chain 1 and then pull through both stitches. So it's that 2 loops at the bottom that we go into for the foundation single crochet. Now I've got a tutorial on foundation single crochet on my channel if you want to look at it in more detail. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a foundation single crochet of 62 stitches for our first row. And if you want to make your placemats a different size, then you need to do a multiple of 12 plus 2. So you know, if you want it smaller, like 26 stitches, which is 2 times 12 plus 2, or bigger, you could go to 74 stitches. Yeah, but I'm going to do 62. Okay, so I will do that now and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I finished my foundation single crochet row, so I'm just going to cut my yarn and then just yarn over and pull through to fasten it off. So I've got 62 foundation single crochet across my row, and that's row 1. So I'm going to move on to row 2 now. I'm going to be using just this blue yarn from my stash. I just pulled it out, and I'm going to do a slip knot to start on my hook, and then I'm going to go through both loops of that very first stitch and do a single crochet there. And then I am going to, so the first stitch and the last stitch of every single row is a single crochet through both loops. I'll say that now just so we remember. And then I'm going to do single crochet in the back loops of all the other stitches all the way across. And I am going to do that for this row and 3 more rows after that, so rows 2 to 5. So this was row 1, we're on row 2 now. 2, 3, 4 and 5 are single crochet across in the back loops only. So I'm going to alternate with my main colour, which is the peachy colour. I'm going to do that on row 1, 3 and 5, and I'm going to use row 2 and 4 to use 2 different colours from my stash. So if you go ahead and do that, and I will meet you afterwards for the next step. Okay, so I've done my 5 rows of single crochet through the back loops, with the first and last stitch as single crochet through both loops, of course. So now we can start the mosaic crochet rows. So I've got my new colour. I've put a slip knot on my hook. I'm going to do my first single crochet through both loops, and then I'm going to do a single crochet through the back loop, and then I'm going to do my first mosaic double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into that front loop from the row below, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that creates our mosaic double crochet. And then I'm going to do a single crochet in the back loop and a mosaic double crochet, and that is our repeat. We're just going to repeat that one all the way across, just like this. Okay, so this is coming to the end of my row 6 now. Let's do my last mosaic double crochet and then my single crochet through both loops. And I'm going to cut that yarn. Don't worry about all these ends, they're going to be enclosed in an envelope border at the end, so you don't need to worry. So let's start row 7 now. Slip knot on my hook again and a single crochet through both loops. Right, this is where the reversible part comes in, so watch carefully. So we're going to do a mosaic double crochet into that second stitch first. Then the next stitch is called an anchored double crochet. So what we need to do is we need to go into the back loop as if we were doing a single crochet in the back loop, so yarn over and pull through. Then you yarn over again, turn your work and look at the back, and you find the loop that's a row below on the back of your work. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull through 3. So we're just going to repeat that pattern. So we have a mosaic double crochet on the front and then an anchored double crochet on the back. So you go into that back loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, turn your work, insert into that loop there, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Let's do it one more time to show you. Insert into the back loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, turn your work, find that loop on the back, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, and that creates the same pattern on the back, apart from one row higher up. So it's doing this row basically onto the back. And we'll see the same pattern appearing on the back, which means that you can use your mats either way up, which I think is pretty cool. Means if you've made a mess on one side, you can turn it over. Obviously they're washable as well, which is another bonus for placemats, I think. So just carry on that row and then we will move on to row 8 after that. Okay, so I have finished row 7. So we're now moving on to row 8. I am going to join the yarn to my hook with a slip knot and then do my first single crochet through both loops. Seems to be a bit of a tight stitch for some reason. And then we'll carry on with the patterns. So I haven't really explained this yet, but whenever you've got a mosaic double crochet in the front loops, and the next row up you're going to be doing an anchored double crochet, which is the one on the back. So we insert our hook in, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and then turn over the work and go into that loop from the row below. And then the next stitch is a mosaic double crochet, and that's going to be our repeat for this row. I've showed you how to do the anchored double crochet already in the previous row, or the row before, no, the previous row. So as you can see, it's starting to create that pattern on the back that we had the same on the front. It looks very different because the colours have reversed. So, but I quite like that. So it means that you've got two different mats, two different styles of placemat that you can use. Okay, so just to carry on this row, alternating your anchored double crochet in the back and then your mosaic double crochet in the front. I am at the end of row 8 now, just doing the last mosaic double crochet and my last single crochet through both loops. So then I will chop off that yarn and join back on my main colour. Obviously you can use any colours you like. I'm using this toy colour, peachy kind of a colour for my main colour. And if you watch my reversible rainbow blanket video, you'll see that I used grey as the main colour, and that was quite nice too. So this is the next row, row 9. We started with the single crochet through both loops, and now I'm going to do a single crochet through the back loop. And then because I've got the mosaic double crochet there, I'm going to do the anchored double crochet in the row below on the back. So that's going into the same colour as the previous row, and that is my repeat for this row. So a single crochet through the back loops and then an anchored double crochet also in the back loops. So this anchored double crochet, insert into the back loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, look down the back, find that loop, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and just repeat that all the way across. I'm coming to the end of row 9 now, so I am just doing my final single crochet through those 2 loops. Chop it off and wrap and pull through. So you can see the placemat pattern is really starting to come to life now. That's our first part of the motif. the next 4 rows, so rows 10 to 13, are going to be worked in the as a single crochet in the back loops only, all the way across. So don't forget to do your first and your last stitch as a single crochet through both loops, but apart from that, you're just going to work across doing a single crochet in every single stitch in the back loops for the next 4 rows, so rows 10, 11, 12 and 13. So I will go away and do that now and see you when you have done that too. Right, I am back again. I have now done 13 rows. So let us move on to row 14. Hope you're still with me, keeping up, pausing the video and catching up as you need to. So we are going to do that single crochet into the first stitch through both loops, and then I'm going to do a single crochet in the back loop, and then I'm going to go on to doing 2 mosaic double crochets, and that is our 3 stitch repeat now. So 1 single crochet in the back loops and 2 mosaic double crochet in that front loop from the row below, and as normal we just carry on that all the way across. Okay, so I finished row 14, just cutting my yarn off. And let's move on to the next row, row 15, back in my main colour. Do my slip knot, do my single crochet in the first stitch through the both loops. Tell me how I can make these videos more interesting. I feel like I need to be more fun with them. Anyway, so we're going for a mosaic double crochet into that second stitch, and then we're doing anchored double crochets because we've got the mosaic ones in the front. Do you need me to tell you how to do this again? Insert in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, down the back, insert into that loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And that's our repeat. So we're doing 2 anchored double crochets in the back loops and 1 single crochet in the back. Oh no, sorry. Let me say that all over again. We are doing 1 mosaic double crochet in the front loop of the row below. Then we are doing 2 anchored double crochets in the back. Repeating that all the way across. Let's go. So this is the end of row 15 now. And then we'll start on row 16. Oh, it's really rainy and I've got to go out in a minute to fetch a car from the garage, so not looking forward to that. Right, so let's do our single crochet through both loops first. Oh, this colour's a bit similar to the previous colour. Anyhow, we're going to do our anchored double crochet in that second stitch, and then we're going to do 2 mosaic double crochets, and then we're going to repeat that. So I think you should have got the hang of it by now, so I'm not going to show you too much. So that's the repeats: 1 anchored double crochet and then 2 mosaic double crochets all the way across. Right, so that's 16 rows completed. We move on to row 17 now. back in my main colour. This is the last row of the 2-bar repeat. So I'm going to do my single crochet through both loops of the first stitch. Then I'm going to do a single crochet through the back loop. Then I'm going to do an anchored DC, so into that back loop, just like we've done before. Yarn over, look over the back, catch the yarn, pull through 2, pull through 3. You should be a dab hand at this by now. And that's the repeat. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the back loop and then 2 anchored double crochets on the back, all the way across. And don't forget to do a single crochet through both loops for your last stitch for row 17. And then we're going to do rows 18, 19, 20 and 21 are all going to be exactly the same as these ones. So single crochet in the back loops all the way across. So I can meet you at the end of row 21 when you've done all that, and that will be perfect. And we'll be nearly finished then with the repeat. Okay, so have you got up to row 21 now, like me? You'll see that I finished off this last row that we were doing with the single crochet and the anchored double on the back, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of single crochet in the back loops only. And now we're ready to move on to row 22. So I'm doing my slip knot like normal. Okay, so a single crochet through both loops for the first stitch. What's going on with my yarn? It's all twisted up. Then a single crochet through the back loops, and then we're going to do 3 mosaic double crochets in that row below. So in this case we're going into the brown row, skipping our main colour row. And that's 3, and then we do 1 single crochet in the back loop, and then 3 mosaic double crochets, and that is our repeat for this row. So let's go ahead and complete that row all the way across, and I will see you at the end. Okay, so I'm just coming to the end of that row. My last mosaic double crochet and then my single crochet through both loops, and then I will cut that one off. And join my next colour. Okay, so what are we on? Row 23 now. Counting is a tricky thing, isn't it? Keeping track of what row you're on. It's a good idea to write it down. Okay, so what we're going to do now, and I've done my single crochet through both loops, then I'm going to do a mosaic double crochet through the front. You can hear the children talking in the background, sorry about that. Then I'm going to do an anchored double crochet through the back in the next 3 stitches. So exactly how we've done it before. Nothing new here, just going through the stitch patterns. Wee. Try not to split your yarn though. So that's 3 of those, and then we're going to do a mosaic double crochet in the front, and that is our pattern repeat. Remember, whenever you have a mosaic double crochet, the stitch above it is always going to be an anchored double crochet, so that's a good way to remember it and check that you're not doing anything wrong. So just carry on across, doing 3 well, doing 1 mosaic double crochet in the front and then 3 anchored double crochets in the back all the way along this row, obviously remembering to finish with a single crochet through both loops. Okay, so this is the end of row 23. We've got two more rows to show you before we repeat it all again, and then I'll show you the how to tie it off and everything. Okay, so that's just my final single crochet through both loops, and then I'll cut this off. Okay, so row 24 we are going to get going with now. So slip knot, single crochet through both of those loops. Not sure I did that right. Good start. There we go. Ooh. Tired now after my run. Can't crochet anymore. So we've got mosaic double crochet here, so that means that we do an anchored double crochet over the back, find that loop, and then we're going to do 3 mosaic double crochets. So this is it the same? Not quite the same as this purple row, almost the same because we didn't have an anchored one there. So find that loop on the back, pull through 2, pull through 3. Okay, so we just carry on this row doing an anchored double crochet in the back and then 3 mosaic crochets in the front, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so this is the end of row 24 now. Just doing my single crochet through those both loops to finish that off, and drop my end, and then we'll move on to row 25. As I said, this is the final row before we then repeat, and this row is similar to other rows we've already done anyway. So let's get that single crochet through both loops started first, and then a single crochet through the back loops, and then 3 anchored double crochets over the back. So this is just replicating what we did on the row below on the back. So everything we do on the front, we then do on the back, replicate on the back, 1 row above. So we have to remember that a little bit for our final 2 rows, which are a little bit different. But we've got a while till we get to those anyway. So anyhow, we carry on across. We're doing, what are we doing? We are doing a single crochet in the back loops, followed by 3 anchored double crochet over the back, all the way across, remembering that single crochet through both loops for the very last stitch. And then we're going to repeat rows 2 to 25. So you'll be starting just with a single crochet in the back loops and then repeating all of the rows again. So you can rewind the video, find the rows that you're doing, and then follow it through until you get to a whole nother section, and that will be the majority of your placemat finished. So go ahead and do all of that, and once you've done that, then come back and we will do the last 2 rows together and then the border. Okay, so here we go. I have repeated my rows 2 to 25 all the way up, and now we have 2 more rows to go. So this is the penultimate row. So this is a great and easy row. The hardest bit is going to be finding the end. So what happens when you use scraps, it's all a bit in a muddle. Anyway, so in the usual way, we're going to join our yarn with a slip knot and then do a single crochet through both of the loops. Oop. Or none of the loops. Right, through both of the loops of that first stitch. And then we're just going to do a single crochet through the back loops only of every stitch all the way across. So this is the end of the penultimate row, finishing with a single crochet through both loops. So I'm going to cut my yarn as normal and move on to the final row. So this final row is where we use the anchored single crochet, which is a new stitch that we haven't done yet. So I'll take you through it slowly. First of all, you do that single crochet through both loops of the first stitch. Right, so an anchored single crochet, we yarn over, we insert into the front loop of the row below, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through two, and then you insert your hook into the back loop of the stitch from directly above where you did the other loop. Yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all three. So this is creating like a mosaic double crochet on the front and a single crochet on the back. So the reverse of the anchored double crochet that we've been doing throughout, which has created a single crochet on the front and a double crochet on the back. Okay, so insert your yarn over, insert your hook into that front loop, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through two, then insert your hook straight into that your current row, the back loop, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all three. Okay, so you might need to watch it a few times to get the hang of it. I always find that I want to yarn over before I insert into my into this one, but you don't need to, you just insert in, then yarn over. Okay, so we're just going to do, see, you did it again, just going to do that all the way along, and then you'll finish your placemat and we'll be ready to move on to the border, which is super exciting. So have a go at the anchored single crochet. If you still need more guidance, there is a tutorial on my YouTube channel of the stitch as well, so check that out, or just re-watch this in slow motion to give you a better idea. But once you get into it, it's quite a therapeutic stitch, I think. So just doing the final anchored single crochet and the final single crochet through both loops. And fasten that off, can't talk, blah 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 blah. And that is your placemat finish. So you see that it's created this double crochet on the top, and then on the back it's finished off the pattern. So you can see the two bits of the pattern there, which I think it looks really cool. So we can move on to the border now. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie off our ends in pairs, just a simple granny knot, tie them all off. When you get to the end, you'll find that you have 3 left over. So for those 3, you can just tie 2 together and then tie the final one onto that other one like that. Don't tie them too tight. Once you've tied them, cut the ends off about 1 inch like that, and then I'll show you how to do the surface slip stitch, which we'll use to make the border. Okay, so I've cut off all my ends now, which I'm sure I can use for something, and I'm just going to show you how to do the next step, which is the surface slip stitch. So I'm using my main colour, my toy yarn, and you want to join it anywhere in one of the top stitches. It's probably easier to start along the top than along the side, but you can start at the side. So I'm just inserting my hook through. I'm going to wrap my yarn around and pull it through. Then I'm just going to chain 1 to secure it, and then am I going to chain 1 to secure it? I'm not going to chain 1 to secure it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. So what we're going to do is we're just going to insert our hook into the very next stitch along, pull through, and then pull through this stitch. I've got my finger on the yarn end at the back, but it will stay fine. So we're just going to do, it's just a slip stitch, apart from the yarn tail or the ball end just stays at the back, and the hook just reaches through from the front to the back, grabs the yarn and pulls it through. So you insert your hook, let me put it in the middle, insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull it through, and then pull it through the other stitch, and you keep going across, and when you get to the end, you're going to turn, try not to knock everything off the table, and then we're going to go into the ends of like the last stitch. So you know this single crochet that we kept creating, so you can see there's like a hole there, so you're going to go in there and do your single crochet like that all the way along. So into that very first single crochet stitch that we created. See that? It's like twisting up. Okay, so you insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull it through, insert, grab, oops, pull through. When you're doing this, keep your slip stitches really loose, because it's quite hard to see them on the back, and you've got to work out where to insert your hook into when we're doing the next step of the border. So yeah, keep them loose. You can even go up a hook size if you find that helps you, and if you crochet particularly tightly. Okay, so we're just going to do that all the way around, so all the way down this side, then along the next side, yeah, all the way around. So just turn at the corner like I did the first corner, and keep on going, and when you get to the end, just fasten off, and I'll show you that anyway. Okay, so I've surface slip stitched all the way around and got back to the beginning, so I'm just going to do one more into this final space. Then I'm going to cut my yarn and I'm going to join it with an invisible join. So thread my needle onto my hook, onto my yarn onto my needle. Right, let's get the words right. And then I'm going to go under this next stitch, under the 2 loops of it. Can you see there? It's quite hard to see because it's all in the same colour. and then I'm going to go down into that last stitch that I made, and then that creates the final stitch. I don't want it that tight though. Try and keep it the same size as all your other stitches. Okay, so then I'm just gonna thread it down through a couple of stitches like that and leave it there. I'm going to tie it to the starting end just loosely, and that can just stay there like that, and chop those ends off, and then we're ready to start the border. So I'm going to start working on the back first, and we're going to be working into those loops from the slip stitch that we just made. Okay, so it's these loops here on the back, just a single loop, and I'm just going to put my hook through the first loop, any loop, doesn't matter which one, pulling up a loop, and going to chain one, and then I'm going to do a single crochet into each loop all the way around, and on the corners I'm going to do a chain two between the corner stitches. So it's quite fiddly to get that loop, so I use the point of my hook like that to just get into it, and then you're just going to carry on working into each loop. All the way around. I'll show you, not a double crochet, a single crochet. I'll show you when I get to the corner. Just because it's slightly different, and going down the side is a bit trickier because you've got to mind out for all the ends, but essentially you're just picking up the loop and doing a single crochet into each loop. So that's the last stitch of that corner. You can see the next one is down here, so I'm going to do chain two for the corner, and then I'm going to go into the next loop and just carry on working all the way around just like that till you get back to the beginning. So a single crochet into each of those surface slip stitch loops on the back of your work, with chain two at the corner. Oh dear, my whole thing's fallen off. So yeah, you carry on and do that. I'll mend my table and I'll see you back when you've gone all the way around. Okay, so I've gone all the way around with my single crochet, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch into that first stitch, and then I'm going to move on to round two. So that's a chain one, and then I am going to do a single crochet in every stitch all the way around again. So this round is a lot easier because we've already it's not working into that surface slip stitch, which is hard to find. So we're just going to do exactly the same thing, and when we get to the corners we are going to do a single crochet, a chain two, and another single crochet in the corner. So that's my corner chain two, so I'm going to do a single crochet, a chain two, and another single crochet all in that corner space, and then I'm going to turn and I'm going to carry on around. So you do the same and we will see each other back at the other side. Right, so I've gone all the way around now. I'm just going to fasten off and join it with an invisible join here. So I've done the last stitch, yep, so I'm going to pull that through. I'm going to thread my needle. And I am going to go into that stitch there, through the two loops at the top, and then I'm going to go down the whole of that stitch. and then just pull it till it's the same size as all your stitches and it's basically invisible. So then I'm going to just weave it through a few stitches just to make sure it's secure, but the end's going to be hidden inside our envelope border anyway. Right, so now I can move on to the front, working through the front loops. So as you can see the line of the surface slip stitch there, and I'm just going to insert my hook in anywhere through the 2 loops, pull my yarn through, and then I'm going to do 1 chain, and then I am going to do a single crochet, and this is just going to be exactly the same as we did on the back. So this is on the front instead, but we're just going to work exactly the same way. So this time you're working through the 2 loops of the front of the surface slip stitch, and that is the only difference. So go all the way around, doing a single crochet into every surface slip stitch as you go around, and making sure you do 2 chains in the corner, and then when you finish that round you're going to slip stitch to join it, and then you're going to do chain 1 and a single crochet for a second round, doing that single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in each corner space. So by the time you've done all that, we'll be nearly finished, and I can show you how to join the 2 parts of the envelope together. Okay, so we're nearly there. I think I've got 1 more stitch to make, and then I'm going to join it with an invisible join. So cut the yarn, put it through, find my needle. This is exactly the same as we did on the back of the mat anyway. So we are going to go around into that one and down the hole to finish that off, just like that. And I'm just going to make it easy for myself, and I'm going to tie the starting end and the finishing end together, just like we did for the side ends. And just chop those off. Okay, so all that we have left to do now is to slip stitch join these 2 sides of the envelope together. Okay, so we're going to be working through the inside loops, so it's like the back loop of the first side and the front loop of the second side, if that makes sense. As usual, you can start wherever you like. So I'm going to start here, put my hook through both of those, and loop my yarn over and pull through a loop. Okay, and then we're just going to be slip stitching again. So put your hook through both of those loops and slip stitch both loops and slip stitch. Okay, so we're just literally going to join both sides together. Make sure if you've got any ends that are sticking out to tuck them in, because that's the whole point of the envelope border, isn't it, really, to hide the ends. So leaving them sticking out would be pretty silly. And when you get to the corner, you're just going to carry on round, going I've got an end here, slip stitching into each of the chains. Okay, so if you find that you've got a bit uneven, so somehow you've ended up with more stitches on one side than the other, just skip a stitch, it's fine. You won't notice it at the end at all. Okay, so carry on around doing all that, and I will see you when you are finished. Right, so here we are. I've just got one more slip stitch to do, and I will chop it off and pull that through and thread my needle. And these are literally the only ends you're going to have to sew in. So I'm going to do a quick, I can see where my slip stitch is there, invisible join here through the slip stitch, and then I've just got these two ends to sew in. So I'm just gonna weave them through these stitches here for a little bit, and then I'm actually just going to disappear the needle into the tube and poke it out a bit further along so that that's well and truly sewn in. And then the same with this one. Isn't that brilliant? All of those ends we had, and after all of it we've only got two ends to sew in. Oh dear, I've got mucky thumb. It's Jesmonite, so that's my other little side hustle that I do, making coasters and ring holders and things like that. If you're interested in that, pop me a message. I can send you my link. Actually, it's in the same Etsy shop as my other Etsy shop. Oh, my scissors have just jumped on the floor. Right, so that is it. Chop those ends off and your placemats are finished. So I've made two. So we've got a wrong side and a right side showing, and you can see they're pretty cool, aren't they? Love them. Thank you so much for watching with me. I hope you've enjoyed making your own placemats. I hope you used lots of stash yarn and used up all that scrap, and I really hope to see you again on another video. Bye for now.